Good afternoon, audience. Welcome back, at least I say to myself. I've taken a little bit of time to take off, really just to focus on life, think about the things that were going on in my own life, try to build past my domestic situation, kind of try to revamp my show into a different, I would say I wanted to revamp my show into a different perspective, not only to focus on domestic violence, but to focus on issues that pertain to all minorities and not just those who are affected by domestic violence, those who are affected by racism, those who may be affected by gender bias, etc. Because the problems facing people, the problems that face minority Americans face us all. They don't just individually face blacks or Hispanics or trying to think or Indians. They face us all. I've been kind of quiet, people. I was hoping in being quiet also that maybe my offender, who has been harassing me and stalking the hell out of me still, might move on with her life, might get a boyfriend, might decide that life was worth living without stalking me and continuing to lie on me and seek revenge. People, how wrong I was. Sometimes in domestic violence, you get offenders who are obsessed with the destruction of the people who hurt them. And my offender, Francina Evans, is no different. Today, people, I was before a Middlesex County court. I was in a conference, actually. Now, as many of you out there might know, in domestic violence, if you've been a man who's been arrested, a minority, the DAs never want to work with you. There's no such thing as a defense conference. There's nothing like that. But today, I went to court. I wasn't called into court. I decided to go to present myself as I have a serious problem. I have a woman who has literally manipulated and abused law enforcement in litigation to harass me and attempt to destroy my life. So people, I chose to be an active victim, and I decided to go to this courthouse today to represent myself and to speak on my own behalf. And I'm really glad I did. So I get to this courthouse, and my offender is there with an attorney and her sick 90-year-old grandmother. I swear, people, I think I'm the only reason this woman is alive. So she can continue to go to court to help her grandbaby harass the living shit out of me. Excuse my language. This woman is 90 years old. She should probably be dead by now. I swear I think I'm the only reason this woman's heart is still pumping the hatred she feels for me. So I go to court today, people, and I see the lineup from the very beginning. This prosecutor, intelligent, attractive black woman. She calls me. She's friendly. She's affable. She wants to talk to me. So I'm like, all right, cool. So they call me in with four women. Four women, me as an individual man. I'm the only male victim of a domestic violence order in this court today. So all the other victims are women. I'm a man in a very nice fitted three-piece suit. I go before these women and I state my case. And I'm like, hey, listen, I'm not trying to be vindictive, but I'm at a point in my life where I'd like to move past this. A lot has happened. My offender has been after me for years. As you can see from the discovery I sent you, she has literally gone into multiple state jurisdictions to lie on me to law enforcement, because the truth is, my offender, Francina Evans, has gotten something it's taken me over a year and a half to get. And that is that domestic violence as a whole is incredibly racist and biased towards minority males. It is a 100% fact. They do not think that a minority man can ever be the victim. We have to be offenders. We have to be criminals. We cannot validly be victims. So I go before these women with a mountain of evidence and I say, hey, listen, my intent is not to be malicious. After I won this order, I showed them proof that I contacted multiple state prosecutors and I said, hey, listen, I just want her to leave me alone. That she went to other counties in New York and in Middlesex, New Jersey, where we were at that time, and she filed false police reports lying on me, angry she lost this order. I laid all this out before them. So people, here's the funny thing. For the last year or so, I have been reporting the cyber harassment of Francina Evans. Now, she might claim that this website, which I'm actually going to share with my audience right now. Hold on, people. So, she makes claims that this website, francinaevans.com, which I hope my audience can see. Let me get back to my regular screen, my regularly scheduled program, excuse me. So she makes claims that this website is harassing towards her. People, it's not harassing. This website is a complete factual account of everything that this psycho girl has done to me. So I take this before a Middlesex County prosecutor and I say, hey, listen, I've come to you guys. I have 7 complaints in the last year of this woman cybersing the hell out of me, accusing me of rape, lying, saying that I beat her, that I abused her, that I'm her abuser, that I'm stalking her. None of this is the truth. I've literally done everything I can to stay away from this woman. but she's obsessed with me and she will not leave me alone. She's literally trying to litigation abuse me into poverty. So they say, Mr. Howard, we understand, but you have a website against her too. So, I was quick to the gun. I said, so what? They said, oh, it's going to be hard to prosecute a case. I said, and what? With a website that tells the truth of the action that you guys won't prosecute? So I said, listen, the website is not meant to be malicious, even though I know that's what she's telling you. The website is meant to stop her from lying and claiming to be a victim of domestic violence, which she most certainly is not. She's a pathological liar. She's a broken-hearted loser who's been using domestic violence to get revenge on me because I broke up with her because of her sick mother and grandmother. You've looked at this site. She's not coming bringing you new information. I sent you this site a month and a half ago. They said, yes, you did. So I said, you can clearly see that I'm not hiding anything. I sent you this site with all of the documents on the site and the videos, so you know everything on that site is true. They said, yes, it is. But they said, Mr. Howard, you think the site could be antagonizing her? Now, audience, here's the funny part. I just put this site up in April. This girl was lying, accusing me of rape, abuse, and a bunch of other offenses for over a year and a half. People, I just had the intelligent idea to make a central place to showcase the liar who is Francina Evans and francinaevans.com 4 months ago, because this is August and it was April. So I don't see how this site could have been antagonizing a woman who's been stalking and lying on me for over a year already. And they say, Mr. Howard, you seem like you really want this over. Here goes the manipulation, people. And we want this over too, because it seems like it's just going to keep going back and forth. I say, ladies, it's only going back and forth because law enforcement, in their capacity to be incredibly gender biased and racist, will not prosecute this woman for the legitimate offenses she's doing. You want to prosecute me, a black man. You don't want to prosecute a woman. You want to keep this woman intact so the next idiot she dates, she can do the same thing she's doing to me and file a bunch of false police reports and lie through her teeth, because that's all Francina is a pathological liar. They say, Mr. Howard, you know what? Let us talk to her attorney and we'll call you back in. So she goes in with her attorney and she's trying to tell them all of this stuff, which from what they said when they called me back in, they knew she was lying. But they said, Mr. Howard, would you be willing to give something a shot? And I said, sure. What's that? They said, it really antagonizes her that you have this site up. Of course it does, because she can't lie and say she was abused with this site up, because this site shows the truth of the liar who is Francina Evans, the woman who was never abused, the woman who filed the false police report in New York, as you can see here. And then once these allegations were dismissed, well, allegations haven't been dismissed yet, but this is the false police report from New York. She filed a petition against me in Essex County, New Jersey. When that was dismissed, she took these dismissed allegations from New York into New York, where she filed the police report in Staten Island's 120 racist precinct with Detective Joseph Quirk. And then she took the I-card Joseph Quirk put on me into Carteret to try to have me arrested for false reporting. Once she had me effectuated with all these charges, she went to the Staten Island DA, the racist bastard who is Michael McMahon, so Michael McMahon could help her and further give her credibility as a false victim of domestic violence by honoring her for losing an order of protection and harassing her black male ex-boyfriend. She further manipulated women like Stephanie McGraw of the charity Warm NYC and created breaking up is not a crime, when the truth actually was she was criminalizing me breaking up with her. She further went and took the false information she created by manipulating the public records of a gentleman with my name and having her attorney submit it to Essex County, New Jersey, so they could discriminate and completely lock me out of the prosecution, therefore allowing her to provide the false evidence that got her acquitted. She takes that same diagnosed schizophrenic altered information and takes it into the state of New Jersey and files this BS motion, which is a Carfagno motion, which is it allows someone who has a final order of protection against them, to petition the court to have that final restraining order removed based on 11 factors. What Francina did was falsify this schizophrenic document she had from someone else, take it into Newark Family Court and try to lie and tell the court that I was a diagnosed schizophrenic who was stalking her. That was exposed and that motion was dismissed. She had several platforms where she advertised that I was a diagnosed schizophrenic in over 40 videos that she promoted online. everything on this website Francina Evans has done. But they felt it antagonized her. So what they asked me to do was to consider dropping it. And I'll be honest, at first, I was like, fuck no, I'm not dropping this, because this girl, the second I take this website down, she's going to lie and claim that she got it taken down because I lied on her. And here's the thing, ladies, none of this is a lie. You've checked the information. All of the documents you see on this site can be verified. She lied through her teeth. And much like a woman who is raped cannot be told to stop talking about the man who raped her, much like a woman who is physically abused does not have to stop talking about the man who abused her, much like the person who is robbed at gunpoint and beaten to a bloody pulp does not have to not talk about the person who abused them. I, the black man, the victim of a final restraining order from the state of New Jersey who can prove harassment against his offender, does not have to stop talking about her, nor do I have to stop defending myself when this woman is continually lying on me. And law enforcement is refusing to do a damn thing, because the truth is, gender bias and racism controls domestic violence, not truth, justice in the American way. But people, maybe the American way is to discriminate against black men. That's what the real issue here is. So I say, I don't have to take this order down, but people, I'm tired. I really am. And I said, you know what? I said, I'm so tired. If she takes down all of the fictitious YouTube, Instagram stuff, I'll do it. Long as she leaves me alone. People, I freaking agree to take this site down if Francina takes down all the lies and leaves me alone. I refuse to take down the content from Operation Rock, because that's my story about how Francina has done the valid thing she has done. And as a victim, I have the right to speak about the person who has lied and slandered me for over 2 years. That is my right. It is provided by domestic violence law, and it is protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. So begrudgingly, the prosecutor agrees. She says, you'll take the site down? I said, I'll take the site down if she takes down everything else. People, I knew it was bullshit. So we get into the courtroom, and I'm quietly sitting in the courtroom listening. And Francina's cracker attorney, this idiot-looking white man, is trying to tell the judge that Francina's a victim. Francina Evans is not a victim. She's a pathological liar and a stalker who's been lying through her teeth to multiple jurisdictions and municipalities for over 2 years. So that narrative right there, along with Francina trying to say her little pieces in court, let me know already what time it really was. But people, I was still positive. I tried to be positive. So people, when the court date is over, when the judge, the funny thing is, let me backtrack. The judge actually tells the prosecutor he doesn't think it's going to work. He doesn't think that it's going to stop telling Francina to take this down. The prosecutor says, give it a try, people. I don't object. The people, the truth is, I want this girl to go the hell away. So the truth is, I said to myself, you know what, Clayton, give it an honest chance. Maybe she'll go the fuck away. People, I was wrong. I'm leaving the courthouse. I overhear this girl talking on the phone as she's walking to her mother's car, lying, telling someone on the phone that the court forced me to take down the site. The court didn't force me to take down anything. They asked me, and I said, you know what, I'll consider it. I'll do it. Obviously, from what I'm about to tell you now, this site ain't coming down at all. So people, I'm headed home, and I'm still trying to be positive, even though I saw the lineup in the court of how these people tried to gender bias and discriminate against me and deny me my protection as the victim of this final restraining order. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a final restraining order against Francina Evans for harassment and burglary. She's appealed that final restraining order, and that appeal has been denied. She filed what's called a Carfagno motion, which is a motion in New Jersey based on a case called Carfagno versus Carfagno, where a defendant can present to the court under 11 different factors evidence that justifies to the court why the order should be dismissed. Francina did this by falsifying this document to claim I was a schizophrenic and claiming litigation abuse, which everyone can read in this report. Once the judge looked at the evidence, saw there were no police reports filed against her within 90 days, and that she had falsified this document, they dismissed her Carfagno motion in favor of me and left the order of protection in place. Francina filed a reconsideration to that Carfagno motion, where she had the very same attorney who falsified these documents that you see before you, that my cursor is pointing to here and here, submit this to the Essex County Prosecutor's Office, where I was discriminated against and diagnosed as a schizophrenic of altered information Francina altered using a public document she found online. The judge saw through that, and that reconsideration was dismissed. So, people, here we are. I get home. Now, again, from what I said in the beginning, I have been reporting the cyber harassment and the lies of Francina Evans for over a year. People, I reported all this year in the borough of Carteret every time Francina Evans did something to cyber harass me. People, there are 11 reports. I was contacted by a woman from Divorce Court, the TV show Divorce Court, and asked to appear before Divorce Court and drop the order of protection. Now, in terms of third-party contact, no one can contact the protected party of an order of protection. Know it. If you have what's called no third-party contact, that means if you're a defendant, you can't have someone else contact that person for you. Francina Evans having a producer from the TV show Divorce Court contact me and asking me to drop the order in exchange for $300 is a clear violation of no third-party contact. But people, this racist judge in Carteret, gender biased and racially motivated to be against black men, does not violate it. All of this has happened that I've reported in the borough of Carteret, and the police even believe that Francina has violated this order. The only thing that has stopped her from arrest is a racist judge in the municipal court. Now, despite all of that, people, despite me reporting all of this legitimate harassment from this woman, today I get home and I have 2 summonses in the mailbox of my next door neighbor. And the summonses are for me cyber harassing Francina for this channel right here, which is 100% the truth of what Francina Evans has done. So people, first when I saw it, I was pissed. Oh, I was pissed when I first saw this order. I said to myself, I said, this sick girl, this girl is out of her goddamn mind. She needs to leave me excuse me. She needs to leave me alone and go about her life. I'm going about my life. People look at me. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I just want to live my damn life. And I want this pathetic loser woman that I made the mistake of thinking a good person to go the hell away. But people, I'm a black man, and law enforcement doesn't respect black men who are victims or men who are victims, period. I don't want to singular it to just black men. So what this judge, the same judge who knows that a producer from Divorce Court called me and asked me to drop a state order of protection mandating no third-party contact, this racist piece of shit judge actually went and signed a cyber harassment complaint against me. People, thank you, God, because I filed the federal civil rights case against the state of New Jersey 2 weeks ago, naming Francina as the 8th defendant and the Carteret Municipal Court as the 12th defendant. This is gender bias 100%, because see, people, in order to be harassing someone, in order to defame them or slander them, you have to post information that is false. If all of these are court documents that have not been altered, the only thing that's been altered in these documents is the address and the phone number of the people included in them, because by putting them online, I'm exposing these people's personal information to the public, which kind of could be harassing towards them. So if you notice, a lot of the complaints here, you'll see blacked out information because I don't want Francina's address to be shown. Her address to be shown on the Carteret police report, her attorney's address or phone number to be shown. People, I blocked all of that out of respect for these people. But all of the papers you see, this fictitious report from New York, this dismissal order from New Jersey, this police report from the 120 precinct, this police report from Carteret, this email to the Essex County Prosecutor's Office accusing me of being a diagnosed schizophrenic based on the paper to the right of it, this email below of a link to the YouTube channel. Francina was criminally charged with contempt today. People, this motion that Francina filed in the Essex County Court claiming a schizophrenic based off this altered document she had. People, nothing on this site is false. But Francina and this judge think that they're going to harass the hell out of Clayton Howard, and they have another thing coming. So people, like I said, I took a small hiatus. I really was trying to structure this program to be something more than just to singularly talk about the domestic violence issue of one man facing a psycho, unbalanced woman who is obsessed with him and won't leave him the hell alone. But people, unfortunately, such is my life, where I am not privy to that. I'm not privy to the piece of Francina Evans leaving me alone, because the truth of the matter is she's obsessed with me. If someone can keep continually filing false litigation against you when you're doing nothing to them but trying to leave you alone, people, you have a problem. I'm a black man living in America. A woman who chooses to weaponize the police in the court against me is a very serious problem that I don't need to take lightly. So I had to file, like I said, a federal civil rights lawsuit against the state of New Jersey. And I had to name Francina in this lawsuit, which she should be served within the next couple of weeks. I also had to sue the Borough of Carteret Municipal Court because, people, if there's all this evidence that this woman is violating and this judge, based off gender bias and racial discrimination, refuses to lock up the defendant of an active state order of protection mandating that she leave the man alone and stop harassing him, people, we have a problem. I thought by minimizing my contact and speech with regard to Francina and maybe taking this small 6-week hiatus, I thought maybe she would actually go away. Maybe she would get a boyfriend. Maybe she would get a life, people, and leave me the hell alone. But people, again, as you can see, I was wrong. I realize now something that I painfully had to accept today as I was sitting in my backyard. Francina Evans is never going to leave me alone, people. She's not going to leave me alone until law enforcement does its job and arrest her for being the psycho that she is. She doesn't care about the fact. She doesn't care about. I don't even think it's the fact that she cares about this website. The website is embarrassing to her because it takes away her ability to lie and say she's a victim of domestic violence. I mean, people, how can she lie and claim she was abused by a man who she's literally right here stating she was never physically abused by? People, how can she lie and tell you that her ex-boyfriend was a diagnosed schizophrenic when guess what? Right here, I have proof that she altered public records to create that narrative for the audience that I'm talking to. People, how can she lie about not filing a false family court order in the state of New York to get an order of protection when not only do I have the order here, I have a court transcript where she totally denies filing this order of protection. She's going to be arrested because she knows we can prove she lied. People, how can she not tell you that she didn't take the dismissed allegations from Essex County, New Jersey, into Staten Island, New York, in violation of federal domestic violence law to file fictitious charges against me for false reporting crimes that happened in the state of New Jersey, then travel back into the state of New Jersey to file that same report from New York in New Jersey, hoping to use the warrant from New York to have me arrested? People who love Francina Evans, who are watching this, because I know there are some of you, anyone who is helping this woman, you need to be ashamed of yourself. Some of you call yourself Christians. Some of you call yourself God-fearing people. The truth is, you're worse than scum. Her 90-year-old grandmother, the only reason that woman is alive is the hatred she has for me. And I can probably say I could reciprocate that hatred for her, but people, she's not even worth my energy. This is the same woman who stalked Francina's grandmother for 60 years because he left her. Francina's mother stalked her father for 20 years, and he left and abandoned her and her 2 brothers. This is why she has no contact with her father, because of her psycho mother. And now we have Francina Evans, the 3rd generation of Owens woman, who has been stalking and harassing Clayton Howard for the last 2 years for breaking up with her because of her psycho mother and her deranged grandmother. People, why do I as a black man not deserve the peace to be left alone? The main principle, the main facet of domestic violence is a victim's right to be left alone. Yet I can't be left alone, people. I don't deserve the peace that a judge awarded me because my skin is too dark and because my mannerism was aggressive in the beginning, people. People, I've learned so much from this situation. And the main thing I've learned from this situation is that men can be victims too. We can be victimized. We can be harassed. We can be stalked. We can be totally defamed and slandered. There's nothing wrong with reporting the truth behind someone who's harassing you. There's nothing wrong with fighting for your rights. Women who are raped have the right to fight and advocate against rapists. Women who are beaten and abused have the right to fight and advocate against the men that have abused them. I'm Clayton Howard, a man who has been lied on, defamed, and harassed by Francina Evans for the last 2 years. And I choose to accept my First Amendment right to speak about the abuse, the harassment, the false reporting, and the slander of Francina Evans. I choose to speak about the people who lied, violating court rules of regulations, attorneys who violated rules of professional conduct by submitting falsified information, totally manipulating the judicial process so Francina could get off for crimes she actually did. People, that is wrong. The American justice system is supposed to be about fairness and equality and justice. It's not supposed to be totally tailored against black men by allowing people to falsify information in favor of victims that the court may not want to be actually convicted. People, everything I've shown you on that site is true. It can be verified with court records. It can easily be foiled if anyone chooses to see it. This is why the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office today did not mandate me to take the site down. They asked me. And people, out of compassion for this woman, I accepted and agreed to take it down. You can bet your ass that I'm not taking it down now, people, because see, she just filed 2 more false police reports on me, and I'm not worried about it, people. I'm going to get out of it because I have enough police reports in Carteret for the last year to prove that I've been reporting cyber harassment that's been ignored. So what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to sit back and allow this woman to keep lying on me, keep accusing me of abuse and rape, keep going after my child, keep falsifying public documents on me so she can convince the public that I'm a diagnosed schizophrenic with a mental illness and further defame me and kill my income opportunities. I'm supposed to sit back and do nothing because law enforcement won't take any action against this woman because her victim happens to be a black man. No, I have the right to defend myself. I have the right to defend my name, and I have the right to stand up against someone who I have an active harassment order against that has lifetime conditions, people. And I choose to exercise that right. I'm going to be back with another broadcast discussing Jonathan Majors, that idiot house heat Negro, and that whole BS speech he gave honoring Megan Good as his queen. Because people, that was a joke. I watched that speech with Jonathan Majors, and I said to myself, how are they giving this man a perseverance award? What is he persevering against? Against actually being convicted of as a domestic violence offender? People, Jonathan Majors beat that woman. He should not be awarded for persevering because Hollywood shunned him for beating this white girl. What about the men who actually are persevering, like myself, who are lied on, who are falsely arrested and imprisoned for lies told by women? This white girl told the truth. Jonathan Majors is lying. I'm a black man who's telling the truth. I'm not getting the perseverance award, people. I'm totally being discriminated against and shunned by law enforcement, even though they can definitively prove my offender is lying through her teeth. I deserve a perseverance award, people, but my reward is to reach out to the community and the people and explain to people and to show people the truth, which is that men can be victims. And sick women like Francina Evans need to be exposed using the power of social media, because social media nowadays is the ultimate truth teller. See, people can post some stuff on you online, but here's the thing. Law enforcement can only arrest you if the things you post back are false. People, that site has been up for 3 months. Why do you think I've never been arrested? People, nothing has happened to me because the site is true. Even now, going to court, the court's not going to make me take that site down because, people, every word of it's the truth. You can't make me take down the fact that someone has filed false police reports and lied through her teeth on me for over a year. You can't make me do that. And people, I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I agreed to give my offender today the opportunity to go on with her life. And I actually consented to these people that I would take down the site. I'm not going to do it now. And for anyone's watching, for anyone who's sitting back trying to watch and find some type of favorable thing to take back to this sick, deranged girl, Francina Evans, you can tell her that. You're going to leave me alone. You're going to stop filing false police reports on me. You're going to stop filing fictitious litigation on me. You're going to leave me the hell alone, you sick, deranged young woman. The problem with domestic violence is pathological liars like Francina Evans are not prosecuted by law enforcement for lying on the men that they lie on, for lying and making victims out of people who are already victims. That's the problem with domestic violence. You can't claim that arresting a domestic violence offender is going to minimize or take away from those women who are actually abused. I think that's BS, people. If you actually start prosecuting women who file false reports, you know what's going to happen? If you prosecute men that file false reports that can be proven, you know what's going to happen? Other people are going to stop filing false reports, people. That's what's going to happen. That's going to be the retroactive action of law enforcement actually taking the initiative to prosecute people that they can prove file false reports, people. If you prosecute these people and you get conviction, it shows other people who think they can use vexatious litigation that it's not something they can do. So, people, that's my fight. My fight is the fight to force law enforcement to is to arrest those who file false police reports. Because no one deserves this. No one deserves to have someone use law enforcement and fictitious court petitions to keep them in court, to keep them before a judge and to financially abuse them by forcing them to pay lawyers to defend allegations that they did not do. I was falsely reported by Francina Evans. I was falsely litigated by Francina Evans. I was maliciously prosecuted and defamed and slandered by Francina Evans. And I accept my First Amendment right to speak against that, all of that criminal conduct, and I will continue to fight against them. On behalf of Justice and Operation Rock People, this is Clayton, and I'm back, advocating for those like myself who are victims of false reports and liars like Francina Evans, who choose to use law enforcement in the racist and biased against Black men, against Hispanic men, against gays and LGBT people. We're all victims. Any minority class that law enforcement chooses not to act on when they know someone lied on us, we're in this fight together. We're all victims. If you are a minority class, whether you be LGBTQ, you be a Spanish man, a Black man, a Chinese man, and someone has lied on you and filed a false report, let's get together, because it takes numbers, it takes action to stop people like my offender, Francina Evans. As long as law enforcement uses the excuse that these people can't be prosecuted, people were never going to get justice. And I, Clayton Howard, am going to get justice. So again, on behalf of Operation Rock and Justice, I continue my fight against my offender, Francina Evans, and I continue the mission, people. I'll be back.